eggs. Now, what are those called?
Ingredients.
Good, Steve. Ingredients. So, when we read a story, we're going to have ingredients too. Steve? Synthesizing. Good. So, how many of you know what synthesizing means? How many of you have read a book and thought, boy, this is a good book? Well, you guys have synthesized. How many of you read a book and thought, wow, that's a neat idea, or I don't like how that ended? So you guys have all synthesized. Did you know that?
No, not at all.
No, you didn't know that, but now you do. So we're going to have to find, in our text today, our ingredients. The storm. Evacuation. Now this is a non-fiction book. Who can tell me what non-fiction means? Linda?
It means it's real and it's not made up.
It's not made up, it's real. Good. We traveled all the way to Missouri. It was a very long trip, and I missed my home in Mississippi. A third grader wrote that. This picture here was also done by a third grader. Before Katrina, we had to do a lot in a very short time. We had to put the dog in a room. Next, we helped my Aunt Stephanie get her house in order. We gathered ice, water, noodles, eggs, cheese, bread, chips, air freshener, disinfectant spray, gas, batteries, candles, flashlights, baby wipes, and other supplies. Next, we went to my Aunt Dee Dee's house in Ocean Springs and cooked and waited for Katrina to come. That was written by a fifth grader. A few days before Katrina, it was very calm, and so was the water. We went to the store and stocked up on enough food for at least a month. We went to my uncle's house and we had a lot of fun. We went to sleep, woke up, watched movies all day. We went to sleep, and the next morning we woke up and the house was rocking. We sat on the inside porch and watched my uncle's neighbor's house fall. That was by a fifth grader.
Oh no.
Grade 1 drew this picture and wrote, when the storm came, we, Mom, Dad, one brother, one sister, stayed in the boat. It was my mom and my dad, my brother and my sister and me. The wind and the rain, and it was all day.
Is that, wait, which picture am I looking at? That one? What's that other one?
This one was the Lost Shrimp Boat. A kindergartner wrote that one.
Oh.
One day when I got home from school, I put the news on TV, and it said a storm was coming. The name of the storm was Katrina. My mom said that we had to leave before the hurricane. My mom was scared, so we went to my aunt's house. We brought tons of food. We had a generator, and the power went on, and off, and on again. I slept with no electricity. My family and I left Biloxi on August 28, 2005. There were only 24 hours left until Hurricane Katrina made landfall. We decided to go to Panama City, Florida and stay at a hotel until the powerful hurricane died. Panama City, Florida was affected by Hurricane Katrina, but not as bad as Biloxi. The next day was horrible because Hurricane Katrina made landfall. So now you guys are talking in social studies about people move.
Yeah.
So why did this family have to move? Logan?
They had to move because Hurricane Katrina was coming.
And so what connection can you make to that? What are you talking about in social studies?
Push factors.
Push factors, good. And what would be the push factor? Lydia?
Natural disaster.
Natural disaster, which is what type? Did you learn about the different types? Brenna?
It's like when there's a bad storm and you know it will happen there again and you don't want to be there anymore.
Okay, that's good. Haley?
It's environmental.
Environmental, good. The storm hits. A morning of thunder, a morning of rain, a morning of sorrow, a morning of pain. Grade 8. August 29th, 2005 was the worst day ever. First, siding was flying everywhere. Shingles were falling like pancakes. Everything got peeled like an orange, inside and outside. There were very strong winds, and the rain was horrible. My family were the only people in the neighborhood. My grandparents and my family stayed in the living room. My sister's ceiling came down. It was scary. So I can say that I was surprised that they actually stayed during the hurricane and they watched their houses fall apart around them. When I saw all the water, I started to cry. We had a mini TV and watched the news on WLOX. One thing you need to know is that water started coming in our house a lot. Then everybody went upstairs and in 2 rooms. During Hurricane Katrina, we heard things tapping on the windows. We heard windows breaking downstairs, things floating all around the house. Things started floating out of the house. While all of that was happening, my grandpa was snapping pictures of the water inside and outside of our house. Now they're talking about water coming in. That reminds me of when we had a lot of rain and we had flooding around here.
Yes.
I actually had my basement collapse when that had happened. So I can make a connection to this story. What type of connection would that be? Robin? Text to self.
I had something just like that.
Yes.
Caleb's basement, his basement overflowed with water like 2 feet.
So that would be a text to self for him. Huh? Okay, so now during the hurricane,